Joining us on the job workshop that provided by UCAN Radio and ABC Recruiting. We're going to run this event in English, especially for you guys. We run it in English today. So, yeah. My name is Kateryna Kostyniuk. I'm the founder of UCAN Radio Station. UCAN Radio Station, it's a Ukrainian radio station, digital one. We run 24/7 across all Canada, live and broadcasting and in recorded. So, we're gonna speak today about job. We run creative industries business for already 14 years back in Ukraine, and here in Calgary we started this radio station just to connect newcomers with Canadian Ukrainians who live here for generations. If you will scan this QR code, you will appear on the website of UCAN Radio Station. If you will listen, you will support Ukraine significantly because half of all ad revenue we send to the needs of Ukraine. So just share the link to the radio station, listen to it by yourself, and you will help Ukraine. We also run events around the radio station. One of them is job workshop that we're going to make today. One of them, the very first one, we ran it last Friday here. In Social Innovation Hub, where we live and broadcast from. And one more event, it's a UCAN Radio Night, the big party, live music party, where we will compare Ukrainian and Canadian piano players. So I want to invite all of you to join this party. It will be really awesome, fun, a lot of live music and a lot of Ukrainian and world-famous music will be on this event. I want to say thank you partners and organizers, ABC Recruiting, Mariana Granishin. We make this event today together. Innovate Calgary, it's a space where we are. And Swan's photographer, where is Sasha? Sasha is here. He's making photo, video, and streaming in YouTube simultaneously, yeah? Really, person with a lot of hands. Success story. Let's meet Mariana Granishin, ABC Recruiting. Please, applauses. Mariana, founder and director of About HR Ukraine and ABC Recruiting Canada. Mariana's area of expertise is the use of technology, including AI-based services, to achieve the best results in recruiting employees for their clients. Mariana graduated from the Ivan Franko University of Lviv with a degree in International Relations and HRM for Business. From the Lviv Business School, Mariana speaks Ukrainian, English, Polish, and French languages. Your applauses. We also want to invite our second expert. It's Nadia Kirsa, employment counselor at the Calgary Catholic Immigration Society. Your applauses. Being an immigrant to 4 and visiting 30 countries, Nadia brings a passion to support and guide newcomers with the knowledge to successfully navigate Canadian job market. As a career development professional with keen interest in the recruitment and human resources, her goal is to empower individuals to realize their full potential. And let's invite the third expert for today, Shahriyar Ahmad. Your applauses. Headhunter working for a Grid Group, a boutique search firm based in Calgary, operating across North America. His job is to manage super networks, connecting to our clients with professionals. The roots of Grid Group are in tech, finance, and energy. However, Grid Group have also built out their practice around engineering, HR, sales, etc. So I want you to introduce yourself a little bit, maybe, and say shortly about the labor force market here in Calgary today. What it's look like, what are the challenges? Just a couple of sentences. And
thank you, Dmitro, for presentation. I will be the first, if you don't mind. And what differs the market from the market of Ukraine, where I used to work, is that there is so many job seekers here. What I also realized that Canadian job market is really different, yes, and those people who live in other countries, they have to understand the culture of speaking, of communication, which is very important in the Canadian market, and all other stuff like Canadian style resume, and that's all. So these are two most considerable peculiarities about the Canadian market from my experience. Maybe my colleagues will share more insights.
So you can hear lots of different things. You can hear from people that there is no job on the market. You cannot find a job. Like it's tough. Everyone's looking for a job. But the thing is that, as Mariana told, that everyone's approaching and seeking job like desperately, and this is the biggest problem, that you're desperately looking for a job and you're not trying to find the right match with the job that fits you and you fit the job and the company. So it is important to present yourself well. It is important to match the job description and the requirement of the employers. And no matter how tough the job market is in Canada, in Calgary, in general, in the world, you will find your spot. This is the most important thing.
To build on the previous points, I think it's important to remember that it goes beyond just job applications. I know that's what most people are trained to do when it comes to looking for a job. Just remember, it's kind of hard to stand out from the crowd when it's just a piece of paper. So coming to events like this is vital. It's the thing I'm going to focus on most today. My entire career revolves around this. Our entire firm kind of revolves around this principle that you have to be out in the markets, meeting people, and as Nadia just said, try to find your particular niche. What suits your personality best? What suits your skill set? What suits your natural strength best? And focusing on roles like that, putting yourself out there, meeting the right people, I think is the most important thing when it comes to the job hunt. And I'm happy to kind of focus more on that today as we discuss.
And let me introduce our special guest, Kateryna. Kateryna is a seasoned sales and marketing professional with more than 8 years in international experience, notably with global brands, and has recently rejoined to the prestigious Fairmont brand within the Aker Group. In addition to her corporate achievements, she actively contributes to her community as a board member of Ukrainian Canadian Congress in Bow Valley and as a volunteer at the Ukrainian Cultural Center and St. Vladimir Church here in Calgary. Her commitment to both professional excellence and cultural engagement distinguishes her in all her endeavors. And your applauses, Kateryna. Kateryna Kostyniuk, stage is yours. Take your time, and let's give a round of applause one more time to our guest and to Kateryna Kostyniuk.
Hi everyone, it's an honor to be here, and I'm a big supporter of Dmitro as well. We've been actually I started my journey looking for a job with CCIS, and there we met at multiple workshops. So I'm not sure how many of you don't have a job, but I understand your frustration if some of you don't. And first that comes and foremost, it's the emotions. It's, again, frustration, and then you are desperately looking for a job and you don't understand what's happening and why it's not as you used to land a job. It was so easy. So my first mistake I would start with, I was so selfish. I was thinking I'm so great and amazing and I work for global international brands and I'm gonna land this job like tomorrow. That was a huge mistake, and that hit me really hard when I came, and then after 2 weeks of looking for a job, and I didn't get a single response, thank you for your application even. And that was actually like what really hit me hard. I was like, really, you're not getting my applications? Am I not that skilled? I'm not skilled enough, or what's the problem? I don't have Canadian experience, because everyone speaks, you need to have a Canadian experience. And that's like a myth here, a legend. You don't know what exactly it means. Everybody talks about it. And even if you have Canadian experience, it feels like it's not enough. And still you're not good. And it's really tough, to be really honest, because that was my most, first of all, the easiest immigration, yet the hardest job search in overall. Well, I speak fluent English. I worked with global brands, and yet it wasn't enough. I couldn't understand what's the reason, what's the problem. And yet I was that one person that actually, when you speak to me, I was given an anxiety. I am looking for a job. And then at some point when I was at one of the events and I spoke to one of the representatives of City of Calgary, that was my dream job to land at that time, and he told me, calm down. And I was like, I'm just looking for a job. And he's like, yes, I understand, but just calm down. That was one of the 2 mistakes, let's say. An anxiety first, desperately looking for a job, and being selfish and thinking that, I'm on top of the world, which clearly I wasn't. Moving forward, when you look for a job here, you have to do what they ask you to do. You have to be the way they want you to be. Not that you have to lose your personality, but what you have to do, you just have to understand the assignment as is. So when you have a job description, you really have to choose and pick the words to make sure that you actually that your resume is being picked up by the AI. Nowadays, so many companies are using AI. When they track how many keywords from their initial job posting match your resume. So it's also important to understand that not only you have to fit the job, but the job has to fit you overall. And about Canadian experience, right? It's not just having a job. When I came and, everybody gives me different advice. Do this, do that. Write on LinkedIn, invite for a coffee. I did it all. I actually tried everything because actually for everyone it worked in a different way. So I cannot say this is wrong way or this is right way. What shall I do? No, I will not do it. I went to CCIS, they tell me one thing, Siva tells me a different thing. Yes, because you need to find your own way. You have to find your goal and what you want to pursue and how you're gonna get it. Every one of us are different, right? Every one of us is different. So it applies a different way. So you have to make sure that you find your own way and try everything of what people telling you and maybe come up with your own way of landing that job. Because that's what helped me. I tried it all and then yet I figured it out.
Try it all and then your friend will offer you a job. What was your way? Tell me, please, how many applications did you do before you get a job? Did you make a Google chart to follow up for all the applications you apply for? How many? Do you know the number? Do you remember it?
158. Yes. So, but I understood.
I didn't expect that. That amount.
And I had an Excel sheet actually tracking and calling. The problem is that also I tried coming to people and giving out my resume, which didn't work because sales and marketing, you are not even allowed to get to the office. There is a security or there is a code. So mostly it's a resume, and I didn't get a single response. I didn't get a single interview for 3 months, maybe 4.
From these 150 applications?
Yes. So, for example, and that's another mistake because you shouldn't apply for a job if there is already 200 applications. I'll tell you, since I changed my approach starting from January this year, I got 20 interviews, meaning like I got 20 interviews, like single interview, but for example, for Fairmont, I got 4 interviews. And then other jobs, I have 2 or 3 interviews, so it's multiple interviews, so overall you can multiply. And it's within January to mid-February. Before that, I didn't get a single interview.
And that sounds impressive. Let's write some notes about it, because you got 20 interviews. How did you get it? What was the approach? What did you do to get this amount of interviews?
So firstly, I actually just start tracking for a job that I really want, and I updated my resume according to what was the position on the website. When I applied, within the first hours of that application, because I put tracking on every company that I want to work for. I put a tracking, so then LinkedIn sends me immediately a message, this job has been posted. So I was applying immediately, and guess what? So the job that I actually landed, I applied within a couple of hours, and then I got this job.
Do you speak about tailoring each resume right now? So yeah. you start to make some adjustment for each kind of resume you did? You prepare for. So tell me about tailoring resume, how it was, and was your resume for this Fairmont role tailored in a special way, or you just did it as you do regularly, and how you work with tailoring resumes?
What I did, apart from removing the part of my experience, I of course check through all the keywords that they have there. There is free job scan and other applications that you can actually try to see your resume, how good it how does it well on the like keyword search. So if your appears about 80, then you're great. Mine was 85, I believe. It's called Job Scan AI.
Overqualification, you told about it. Tell us, that's really hurtful, not just to remove some kind of experience from your resume, but also to know that you are overqualified to this particular role, but you have to just to, I don't know, vaporize it, I don't know, to wipe it. And you don't
Yeah.
have to tell about it, but isn't it a kind of a lie in your interview? Because you are really qualified enough to take a much more serious role that you actually applying for, and you remove it from your resume. So tell me about the emotional aspect of this question, and about the practical one. So how to do it to match the requirements of the job posting, shifting your experience work.
Well, it's not that I just, check out and I never worked there or I didn't know how to do the job, but I was just like, I just knew the job, how to do the job. So it was, at some point, it was easier for them to hire me because I know how to do it. And if I was working in a leadership role, then I know how to manage people, so they will not have problem with me, as when you come on initial role. And in Canada, it's quite normal when you're, 40 years old as a marketing or sales coordinator. It's normal for them. That's already a high step for them. But for me, I grow so fast, and it was difficult. But I didn't lie that I just didn't say everything. I did work as a sales and marketing coordinator for 10 months when I got promotion, and then I got promotion, then I got promotion. But then they just didn't know the promotion part. They just knew me that I was working as a sales and marketing coordinator.
That's how it works. Yeah. So in conclusion, let's make short notes. You start to tailor resume. You start to look for the job that actually you want to receive. Then you, what else? Then you shift your work experience.
Yes.
And that's the key
And
to get the job.
About getting a job as well. So it's about, getting the job that you want, because basically if you don't want the job, if you don't really want the job, you will not put the effort into applying for this resume. If in a job scan, you're gonna scan this, for example, resume, it's gonna say, oh, you did bad. And you're just gonna say, I don't care, I'm just gonna apply, it's fine. But if you really want the job, you're gonna scan 3 times your resume, you're gonna rewrite it. And the cover letter, of course, it goes without saying, you really have to go with your cover letter. It helps a big time, because then they know what personality you are. So apart from resume, even without, tailoring my resume according to the job, but you have to have a sale. It's gonna just help you. It's just gonna make your life easier. That's my personal opinion, and I know how our management, for example, they read the resume, your cover letter always.
How long it take to tailor resume in a proper way? So, for example, for me, it takes approximately 3 hours to tailor resume to the job posting, and sometimes I think, oh my God, it's not something that I need to do. I actually made to meet with somebody for a short coffee chat, to the informational interview, or to do something else. But I spent 3 hours just for one application to tailor this resume. So how long it takes for you? Maybe you have kind of approaches that allows you to make it faster. And is it worth it? Well, we see that it's worth it because that's how you got your job.
Whatever AI tools right now, there's so many free tools and available. You just use it.
Okay, thank you so much. Let's give a round of applause for Kateryna. It was a great story of success. Now we want to ask our experts to share feedback and to say what was really good and what is your experience from other side when you're looking for the candidates.
Right thing to say that you will meet so many people. They will tell you different things which will work, which will not work. The thing is, and as an employment counselor, I do it every day, right? I tell people what to do to find a job, and I tell them to do everything. You know why? Because you never know what will work for you. Because I have so many different stories when one person found a job through networking event, one person found a job through LinkedIn, another through Indeed. I have a friend who got 3 actually offers, one that was from job fair, one from Indeed, and one from networking event. All at 3 at the same time. So when someone tells you something doesn't work, maybe it doesn't work for them or their particular profession. So your task, especially when you're new to Canada, is to try different ways. So try LinkedIn, try Indeed, try applying online, try networking, because you never know what will be the hit for you. And it is very important for you to, there was a big, you went through really hard steps to realize that what was going wrong, that you were desperately looking for a job and you didn't know what you were looking for. So this is the biggest actually issue and problem for a lot of newcomers, because all of them are so frustrated that they're overqualified. Oh my God, I worked so hard for my PhD, for my master's, for my management position. You cannot imagine how many managers and CEOs I met. But here, you cannot come there and say, hey, I'm a CEO, hire me, I'm a good one. Yeah, you're a perfect one, but the thing is, for Canadian market, I'm sorry, but no one yet. So the thing is, yes, it is really tough and it's really hard, but it is what works best when you start a little bit lower, maybe entry-level job, maybe some middle, like not management, because management in Canada is really serious, but middle, profession, not maybe really top there. But when you start there, when they see you, you will really top there really fast. They will want you to grow. If it's a good company, of course, because there are bad companies as well. And guys, why do we write resumes? What is the purpose of the resume? Yeah, to be invited to the interview. It's not to get a job. You're getting a job during the interview process when you meet with an employer, with a hiring manager, whoever is there. But you're writing resume to get an interview. It is the purpose to interest person on the other side that you are the right match. So if you have 1 million diplomas, so many different skills, but they're not relevant to the position you're applying, please don't mention them in the resume. Mention only those what they're asking for, okay? If you are sending your resumes and you do not have invitation for the interview, something's wrong, you need to change it, okay? And about the ChatGPT, okay, here careful. It is really good tool. Please use it, but please learn how to use it. A lot of people, ChatGPT, copy, paste, let's go. And so you need to learn it, how to use it, and when you use it smart, that helps. When you just copy and paste without thinking what you're doing there, that will actually harm more than help you, okay? So use it, but carefully. So basically, I would say about your story. So you tried so many different things, and maybe because of your desperation and your, like, I am so great, I don't want to go lower. So that is actually the biggest challenge for a lot of people, and I know psychologically it's really hard. But just look at it, not you're going lower, you just want to show yourself first for people who don't know you. And then they will see you, and you will get your career back and even like brighter than it was before. Okay, so yeah, that's.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, great journey, Kateryna. That sounds tough, and I'm glad you made it somewhere where you're comfortable. Of course, you'll make it through. If you approach someone with respect, and I think what's very important is coming down to the networking thing. With networking, it's very important that you provide value before you extract it. Right? If you walk into an event and you're walking around asking someone for a job, why would they give you a job? Like, what have you done for a job? If you go to people and say, hey, what do you need help with? How can I help you? Before even asking for a job. Maybe they'll tell you. Maybe you can connect them with somebody else who can help them out. Maybe you can support them at their events. Maybe they're coming to an event like this and they're speaking. Maybe you can show up to the event. These things are the things that kind of build a social credit bank, I call it. And if you have like a social credit with somebody, you grow it and you grow it and you grow it, and eventually maybe they have a connection at a big company and you want to use that connection, you can respectfully ask for a referral, and it comes off a lot better than chasing after them, asking for a job, So the desperation thing was interesting. Secondly, I know we're going to discuss it again, but being very particular about where you apply, and my philosophy is a few things. I look at what am I naturally very skilled at, and I always saw it as connecting with people, understanding people's passions, understanding where they would fit culturally. That's one thing. Secondly, what does the world need? Are you doing something that's actually useful to people? Do people need this, whatever skill you provide? Third, what's going to make you money? I had to keep that in mind when I was looking for careers, and I kind of just did trial and error again and again and again in different jobs. until I finally fell into something like recruitment, where I thought, okay, this is starting to make sense to me now. Those are the main things. I think you have a really cool story, and I congratulate you on how far you've gotten, and well done. Just keep going and don't be desperate. It gets really annoying, it's that finding your purpose and really honing in on what am I so good at that almost nobody else in this room can do. And the way I say it is like, what can you do so naturally that you can stand up in a room full of strangers and you're probably better at it than 95% of the people there without even any training or anything. You got it, That's how I kind of found my stride with my career. And I have a lot more strategies I'm happy to share on how to do this networking thing, especially over LinkedIn. How do you break into companies and break into their upper management? Because I spent a year and a half learning exactly how to do that. And similar to you, I applied for a lot of jobs. I applied probably for 200-300 jobs when I was unemployed, and I was getting nothing. And then I completely switched my strategy, and I was getting 2 or 3 interviews a week and every time I applied for a company, I almost knew I'd get an interview there. Like my success rate was like 60-70% for getting interviews. But that's only after I changed my strategy. So I'm happy to share how I did that later on today.
Yeah, thank you. One more thing I have to add about the referrals. You told about the referrals. It's not just something that somebody tell about you for somebody. Sometimes it's a kind of a procedure, inside the companies. It's a system, and if you ask for referral, you ask to make some actions in the system of the company that you're applying for. And it works really, really brilliant. I have a successful example of myself when I got some of the interviews just after the referrals. If you got this referral, the chances that you will be invited to the interview are much more higher than without it. So one of the strategies is to ask about the referrals and to know how they work exactly in this company. Any questions?
Should people lie in their resume, or how can they find a job in completely different sphere?
Yeah, so it's again about transferable skills. So for example, like what I did, I didn't lie. I really work in sales and coordinator position. So later on, I had more scope of work, but I just cut it down and I saw what they're looking for, right?
So as a teacher, I've been my teacher myself. So actually, teaching skills are really important in a lot of professions. And as Kateryna told, you have a lot of organizational documentation, all that stuff. And actually, what you don't need to lie. This is what the question was like. Do I lie in the resume? And there are a lot of people who actually use that. Like, others lie, so I will lose if I don't lie. So I never encourage anyone to lie in your resume. Only if you have masters and then you say high school because they only require high school, for example, right? If to show something lower, okay, but if you want to lie about experience that you don't have, no, don't do that. So what you can do, as Kateryna told, so actually you can on top of your English teacher, just teacher, whatever teacher there, on top you add section like you want to work as office administrator, you volunteer as office administrator, you say office administrator, Bow Valley College, and then you write your experience there. And when you explain your experience as a teacher, you also not talk about that I worked, I taught, ABCs to children, but you organized documents. You communicated with parents via clients, right? So you made sure that everyone's correctly and so on. So you just twist a little bit differently parts of the resume, but do not lie. Okay? So it is important not to lie, because once you get in the interview, even with your fake resume, they will see from the start what you have and what you don't. Okay, so you can turn it around, you can change it, you can name something differently, but you're not lying, okay? You mention only those what you know and what you learn, can show that you can do that.
Thank you so much for this interesting question, and thank you so much for Kateryna. Thank you so much for joining us.
Listen to UCAN Radio. Support Ukraine.